Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, more so my ardent followers and subscribers via this channel, Uganda Eyenkya. I'm really glad to be here with you. I don't know, either tonight, good morning, it depends the kind of time, wherever you are, wherever you're watching the channel from. I am really very happy because you do follow each and every content I do, of course, upload each and any single day. So it is such a gratitude and honor to have you even this evening. As always, my name is Moses Wamala. I really thank you and Happy New Year, and thanks for following me. In this channel, via this channel, we strictly bring you content that actually concerns our country, our nation, as long as it takes us forward. We bring it, be it politics, social, economical, or anything, as long as it is very appealing to the audience. That's you, the public. Now, what am I bringing you tonight or this evening? I bring you, yes, he's a good gentleman. I've known him for some good time. He is an innovator. Yes, we are not bringing politics only, but we are trying as well to give a platform to those innovators who are trying so much hard to make ends meet, as well as long as delivering or making Uganda a better place to be. He's Tonny Butali. He innovated. If you've seen something called Safarisha, he's going to give us all the details in regard to this mob application. It was actually innovated right here in Uganda. I repeat, it was innovated right here in Uganda. So he's going to tell us where he got the inspiration. Is it a big team or is there a big team behind him? So he's going to give us all the details about Safarisha. So we are speaking transport this evening. Yes, good evening and welcome to this broadcast, Mr. Tonny Butali.
Yes, good evening, Moses, and good evening to our viewers.
Very good. Briefly, I would love you to introduce yourself to those ones watching us.
Yeah, like you have said, my name is Tonny Butali, and I'm an innovator. I'm one of the founders of Safarisha, together with my friend Okoti Ernest, and I'm glad to be part of this program.
Very good. Fast forward, let's talk about Safarisha. First and foremost, the details. Why Safarisha? What is it all about? Where did you get the inspiration? All the details about
Safari.
Yes.
Safari means journey.
Okay.
In Swahili. You see, us Ugandans, we are learned Swahili. So we always think that when someone says safari, he means a long distance trip. But safari just means journey. So Safarisha, if we translate it directly to English, it is journey share. It doesn't matter where you're going, whether you are going from Kampala Road to Nambole, Kampala Road to Entebbe Airport, or to Mukono, or to Arua, or to Mbarara, or to Mbale, or to Kapchoro, or to Kisoro, you can use Safarisha. The inspiration, a few years back, I was working up country, and I found it difficult to commute whenever I was going to work because my family was staying in Kampala. So I kept thinking there had to be a way to solve this. In Uganda, or Kampala in particular, let's talk about Kampala. If you want to travel anywhere, to any part of this country, you have to enter the city first. And we are trying to avoid that. There is no need of you entering the city in order to travel to any destination. Take an example of someone who is traveling to Mbarara and stays, say, for, let's say, in Nansana. There is no need for you to travel to the park in order for you to go to Mbarara. You can find a taxi in Nansana which you will connect via Busega and you go straight to Mbarara. So we are asking the public to download the application, register all the private cars, and all the passengers who don't have cars also register. Once you are approved, you get to use Safarisha. It is non-commercial, it is convenient, it helps cut down on the congestion in the city, it helps improve on the public transport connectivity, which has been lacking. and it helps save time and also money.
Mr. Tonny,
Yes.
if you mention or if you talk about non-commercial, someone
Yes.
might think it is totally free.
No, what we mean by non-commercial is it is not like other private car players which are driven by profits. Here we are driven by connecting people from one place to another. If you are traveling, for example, to Mbarara, the charge is around, say, 25,000 in public transport or 30,000. Safarisha is going to charge you the same or similar amount. If it is slightly above, it might be just above by 2,000 shillings. But if you compute the costs of traveling to the city and then traveling from the city to where you are going, and you compute in time, you will in the end be saving. So we are encouraging high occupancy vehicle rates in these private cars so that we reduce pressure on our public roads. So that's why we came up with this idea. The whole aim is to connect the private passenger to a private car going the same direction, okay, in a very simple way, in a secure way, because you don't just download the application and straight away start using it.
Where is the uniqueness of Safarisha compared to other applications?
The uniqueness of Safarisha is when you download the application, the first thing is you have to register. You don't straight away use the application. When you register, we vet these documents. You have to attach your national ID and your phone number. You have to use your photo as your profile picture, so that the driver coming to pick you does not find a different person. So that already is unique. But then when you submit this national ID and your profile picture and the phone number as a passenger, we are working in partnership with NIRA. We vet this document to confirm that it is genuine, that it is bona fide, and thereafter we approve you to use the application. As a driver, you have to attach your driving license or permit and attach 3 photos of your car plus other details as instructed by the application. Now we vet all of these documents, verify that they are truly yours, then we approve you to use the application. So that way we keep our public safe and secure.
So there are no safety problems, for instance, that someone will be kidnapped, abducted or killed, as we've heard of recent.
Yes, thank you, Moses. We are developing a panic button. In case of anything, in case you feel threatened and you feel you cannot make a phone call, all you need to do in the application is press a panic button. That panic button will send real-time information to the Safarisha team, which works 24/7. And the Safarisha team, remember, will be able to track this car. At all times, we shall be tracking the cars. So we shall be able to share this information. This information is highly confidential. It can only be shared with the security officials within that within that area or jurisdiction.
Now you're speaking of now the passenger or
Yes.
someone who is taking that route. How about the owner of the car? Because even thugs they might do the same or the otherwise.
The owner uses the same panic button in case he feels threatened, and you can actually share your live location with your family and loved ones, so that in case of anything they know exactly where you are.
Speaking of the strength, where does Safarisha, or where do your strength lie? As
Our strengths as Safarisha lies in the pricing. The pricing is automatically done by the application. The only amount we charge is 100 shillings per kilometer. So if someone is traveling from Kampala to Mbale, is going to be charged not more than 25,000 shillings. But remember, it will not be taking one person. It is going to be taking 4 people. So this way, it is more convenient for the driver and the passenger. Now, where our strength comes in, is if someone is in Mukono, will not pay the same fare as someone in Kampala if they are all traveling to Mbale. If someone is in Bweyogere, will not pay the same fare as someone in Mukono. And if someone is getting out maybe on Tirinyi Road before he or she reaches Mbale, will be paying less. It calculates per kilometer. It does not factor in the cost of time spent on their way. It only calculates using the distance traveled. So we consider that cheap. My fellow car owners out there, why should you take an empty car to Mbale? Why should you take an empty car to Masaka? Why should you take an empty car from your home to work? You just need to go on the application, schedule all your trips. We are encouraging mostly the new drivers who are signing up to post their trips for even the whole month. Post every day. If you leave home at 7, post you leave at 7. People will be able to get in touch with you and reduce on your cost of commuting. If you pay 20,000 in a car every day to work, and you stay in Wakiso, and you work say on Ginger Road, and you can bring 4 other people in your car instead of coming alone, on one journey you are going to be recovering not less than 15,000, because each is going to pay something like 3,000, between 3,000 and 4,000. If each paid 3,000, that is 16,000. That is 12,000 if you bring 4 people to town. And if you are going back after working, it means you will be able to recover again 12,000. So in the end, your cost of commuting is greatly reduced, and your net pay your take home pay will increase, because you would have cut off or cut down the fuel costs.
So is the application already on the go?
Yes, as I speak now, we are closing down on 1,000 downloads. The application is actually quite popular, but we are appealing to the public to download the application, because the success of this application mostly depends on numbers. So
1,000 downloads.
Yes.
How far has it been on the market?
It has been on the market as I speak now for 7 weeks.
7 weeks?
Yeah, 7 weeks.
Okay.
Yes. So the beauty with the Safarisha is every primary school in this country is mapped on Safarisha. Every landmark, every trading center, every parish, every district, every road is on Safarisha. So you can plan your journey. We want Ugandans to start planning their journeys.
Very good.
I will give you an example. Let me give you an example. If I had planned to go to Mbaro on Friday, but then I check on Safarisha and I realize someone is going on Saturday to the exact place I'm going, maybe to my exact village, I can reschedule my trip to Saturday so that I travel with the other person. I can always reprogram myself to fit myself into the driver's program. Some of us leave home very early in the morning, like at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., just to be at work any time, because you are jumping into a public transport car, which is going to make so many stopovers, picking people and dropping them off. But with the Safarisha, you can afford to have an extra hour of sleep if you know someone in your neighborhood is going exactly to the place you are going to. If you stay in Wakiso and you are working in Mukono, we all know how difficult it is to commute from Wakiso to Mukono. You will end up taking 3 or 4 cars. And these cars you are taking will make so many multiple stops. They can actually, if you count, they can make even as many as 70 stops. So by the time you reach at work, you're already stressed because the car keeps coming to a halt all the time, picking and dropping off people. They keep asking you to get out. But with the Safarisha, you can find someone who stays in Wakiso and works in Mukono, and you can fit your program into his. There you will have cut down the time you spend on the road and also the money you spend, because there are some places where there are no public transport cars. So with the Safarisha, you will be able to find this neighbor And as a result, we are trying also to connect to communities. You see, we live now in gates. We are a gate. You will be shocked that your neighbor actually works in the in the same vicinity as you with Safarisha. So we are increasing that connectivity with the public, with the community.
Okay. Speaking of the how question, how does one join if he wants to be part of the drivers? One, and two, how does one join if he or she wants to be part of the riders or the passengers?
You just go on the Play Store, you search Safarisha as one word, members. Please note this carefully. Search Safarisha as one word from Play Store, no spaces. The first application which will come with the blue and white logo, that is our application. When you download the application, just follow all of the steps. It will ask you to enter your phone number, it will ask for your profile picture, it will ask for a national ID, and then it will ask whether you want to register as a driver or a passenger. If you want to register as a passenger, there are no more additional details to add. If you want to register as a driver, it will ask for additional details. Now, when you submit these additional details, please make sure that they are genuine, because if they are not genuine, your application to be approved as a Safarisha driver will be rejected. Please attach all of these documents so that you can be approved in time to use the application. Let me talk about something else. We all sometimes don't want to drive, and yet public transport routes are limited. They are few and they are far away. So in this case, if in any day, if you are a driver and you don't want to drive, you just go in the application and switch from driver mode to passenger mode and search for fellow drivers going your way. It is that simple. This is an application which is not only limited to Kampala, but it covers the entire country. I want to repeat, this application covers the whole country. Every landmark is mapped. It doesn't go beyond the country because every country has its own jurisdiction and laws.
Speaking of the feedback, because nowadays we see that such applications, they have that feedback button. But in most cases, where the problem comes in is that some of the call centers or the numbers, yes, one has to call to the customer care. In most cases, they are not toll-free, which gives many people a problem in case of any urgency. What do you have to say about Safarisha? Have you solved that in case of any emergency? In case of any urgency, can someone get in touch with you in just a microsecond, by the way?
Now, you are raising very valid points. I want to tell our viewers that we are developing an inbuilt chat system, whereby instead of calling, you can actually just chat. Because for you to use this application, you must have data. So if you have data, just like WhatsApp, it will be easier to reach us. But that said, we are going to have those toll-free numbers with the time. But at the moment, we have an MTN and Airtel number for customer care, which are of course for paying, but with the time, we shall have those. Like we said, this is a project which has been started by Ugandans, developed in Uganda without any external support. And that's why we are here to serve Ugandans. We have developed it in such a way that no one will come to the application to actually exploit. That's why we limit the numbers to 4. So at the moment, we may not have all the things in place, but it is just a matter of time. You are talking of reviews. At the end of every journey, the passenger rates the driver. This will in a way eliminate bad drivers from the application. If you are a driver out there and you sign up for Safarisha and people start rating you 1 out of 5, just even consistently, just like 2 or 3 or 4 times, we shall have to get in touch with the driver and find out why the rating is so poor. And if the driver does not change, then we shall not allow you to use our application. So that way we get feedback. Just like any other application, you have to rate the driver.
So very good. In case, because this is somewhat a funny question, do you have any competitors as of yet?
Well, at the moment we are a total startup. We don't know of any competitors in Uganda, but I mean competition is good. It is good in that it forces you to think and improve on your product. So at the moment we don't fear any competition because the way our platform is set, as I have told you, is totally non-commercial. I like delving into details. Let's go to the tourism sector. There is no public transport in this country which goes to any tourist destination. If you want to go to Murchison Falls, you cannot get into a taxi to Murchison Falls. But tomorrow, Moses, you can be going to Murchison Falls. But then the cost of fuel prohibits you from going to Murchison Falls, and you are forced to cancel the journey. But with the Safarisha, we can boost our local tourism. You go and schedule your trip. Give it enough time. If you are going like in 2 weeks, schedule your trip today, so that people can be able to search and know, oh, Moses is going to Murchison Falls and is going to spend there 2 days, and then they find you come back after 2 days. Then they will be able to join you and go and have fun. We have been struggling to boost local tourism because local tourism has been left to only those with cars. If not, you have to wait for when they are organizing as a group, which is a bit more expensive because sometimes people want some privacy. Sometimes people don't want to move as a group of 50 or 100 or 60. People want to move sometimes as just a group of 4. So that is the beauty of Safarisha.
So briefly about your final remarks about this application, but before we dive into that, about this innovation, because I can't even forget this. What's your call to the government? Because we have, I think, like 2 or 3 ministries which fall under that same thing. The Ministry of ICT, there is technology and innovation. So how best can the ministry get in touch or actually be of good help to
Moses, as I speak, we are working hand in hand with the ministries. The ministries are aware of what we are doing. We are formalizing actually to work with all government agencies because this is an alternative to the city. This is going to reduce the number of cars on the roads in the city. How? I can give you an example. On the road of 20 cars, you will find there are 20 drivers in 20 cars. Yet each of these private cars can carry 5 people. If 20 cars are carrying 5 people each, those are 100 people. But then there are only 20 people. Now Safarisha is trying to locate these empty seats and bringing the passengers into this car. So that way we shall be reducing pressure on the public infrastructure. Because the pressure the car puts on the road, you get it, is the same pressure if more people sat in that car. So we shall reduce the pressure on the pavements, get people off the pavements into these cars. Instead of 20 people gridlocking the road or causing traffic jam on the road, we can have instead 100 people in these cars. And trust me, that way we are going to decongest. 2, people are going to be encouraged to leave their cars home so that they can share a car with a neighbor. That way we shall reduce on the number of cars on the road. 3, we shall have more greener spaces because we shall reduce on the carbon emissions in the city. So there are so many advantages which are going to be enjoyed by every Ugandan with our Safarisha application.
Your final remarks to everyone who has been following and watching us live.
Yes, my final remarks are these. Download Safarisha. Safarisha is a safe, affordable, and convenient application. Also, I know many drivers out there. I will speak this from experience. Most of the drivers have a lot of psychological attachment to their cars that they fear sharing it with others. Let us change this habit. Let us share transport so that we improve our country. And the passengers out there, let us download also the application so that instead of being cramped into a taxi, you can sit comfortably in a private car and reduce on the cost of commuting, both on your side in terms of money and in terms of costs. Thank you very much.
Yes, you heard him right, Tonny Butali from Safarisha. Of course, in a bid to improve and of course change our transport sector, of course has different stakeholders, and more so Ugandans. We owe to do a lot because this is our motherland. So I do actually call you upon to go onto Google Play Store to download Safarisha, the mob app. You can go ahead and actually share a trip with your, let's say, nearby people or those ones who are near you. You can actually go around the city, go around, or take even if you decide to take even a trip to the whole country, you can actually go from Kampala to wherever you want. So that's Safarisha with you. So they will be moving with us in most of our programs right here on Uganda Eyenkya. So I promised you a lot of programs, more so from Ugandans this year. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned and we meet next time.